Living the Vacation Life proudly presents Meet Your Neighbor.
Joining us for the special edition of Meet Your Neighbor. I'm your host, Minister HT. Let's go back a century. Let's go back to 1921. The day is Saturday, July the 9th. Guess who arrives? Yes, none other than Carmela Donna Dio, aka Miss Millie. And without further ado, Miss Millie. Miss Millie, a pleasure to meet you.
Thank you. Pleasure to meet you. Pleasure to be here.
Awesome.
For all reasons.
Yes, ma'am, you're saying it right. 100 years old. Wow, very significant. I'm honored and privileged to actually be in your presence, as well as being able to find out a little bit more about Miss Millie. So, Miss Millie, let's start with your siblings. You have 5 siblings.
I do.
I'll let you name them.
Okay, my oldest brother Frankie, then came my brother Tony, my sister Beatrice, myself, my other brother Jimmy, and my younger sister Margie.
Margie, yes, and which came along in 35.
Right.
Bringing you in 1921, bringing Jimmy in 1925, on the 25th of the year 1927. Right, got you. Okay, so Miss Millie.
Yes.
We'll go a little bit. Let's tap into the younger years. You were to see one of the first Frank Sinatra concerts.
Absolutely. It was fantastic. It was unbelievable. He was up on stage and the screaming teenies.
Oh, yes.
Screaming for him.
Yes, and you were one of those.
I was one of those.
Wow. Awesome. Okay, so we move forward. Let's go to your first job. What do you remember as your first job?
My first job, long distance telephone.
Right, they called it, am I right, Teltrans?
Oh, Teltran was the actual a company that manufactured, we were during the war, and they were manufacturing war materials.
Okay.
And I worked there on the assembly line.
How long did you work there?
Oh, just about a year, maybe.
Oh, okay.
No, I couldn't stay in a place like that. That was not me.
Okay, so Miss Millie, what was next?
Well, next I went to the long distance telephone. So I got to do that, but I was on the long distance lines, and I learned how to do the switchboard.
Okay.
And that's how I got my first job at the Amalgamated Bank. I was
Wow.
a switchboard operator.
Awesome. Do you remember what year that was?
1944.
Go ahead. Woo, that is something there. So where did we go now? How long did you stay there?
I was there for, well, that was New York, and then we moved to Jersey, and I commuted from Jersey to there until 1955.
Okay.
And then I left there, and I was working for the Motel on the Mountain part-time on Sundays.
Okay.
And so I left my job in New York and stayed in Jersey and worked at the Motel on the Mountain. And I was working for this engineering company, Centenarian Engineering, who was involved in some part of the space program.
Okay.
And I was his secretary. I typed and I took the telephone. As a matter of fact, his wife gave me a charm with a telephone on it.
Oh, wow. That was awesome.
Yeah.
That was definitely letting her know how much she appreciated you as well.
Absolutely, they did.
That's awesome.
It was a good place to work.
Okay. Now, where'd you go from there?
From there, I went to Avion, it was called at that time. That was the American Car and Foundry Company. And I was in the bookkeeping department.
Okay.
I worked there as actually I was a cost accountant.
Okay.
In the bookkeeping department.
And then you went to where?
In 1970, I worked for, and I can't remember his name. He was a Chrysler dealer.
Okay.
And he was very well known as a car dealer. And he was also one of these real wheeler and dealer car.
Yes, back then.
And back then they were. And I worked for him for a year, and then I took this course in tax preparation.
Yes.
I was in Hackensack, and there was a place there that they were giving lessons. So I took the course in tax preparation, and I started working for H&R Block.
Wow.
And I worked for H&R Block for about 13 years. And then I went on my own.
And did your own thing.
Did my own taxes and had my own clients. And just, I don't know how I managed with finances. I can't remember what my financial situation was at the time, but I always had enough money to do whatever I needed to do.
Miss Millie, what's your favorite job out of all that you've done?
I guess the tax preparation for people, doing taxes, because I enjoyed being able to help them with because that was a very difficult thing for people to do.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, so Miss Millie, what was next?
Well, next, the 55,
Okay.
there was a show called The Big Payoff. And my sister Beatrice, smart little thing she was, she sends my name in because I used to work, I worked for tax preparation, and I used to work at the Motel on the Mountain. I think
Right.
that's what got me on this show, the fact that I worked for the Motel on the Mountain. And they called me to come in, and I went on this show with, it was John Payne, I think it was the actor, and Gene Nelson was my, I don't know what was he called. I was the queen, and he was the king of the day,
Okay.
whatever. He was my escort.
Okay.
And they asked me a bunch of questions, whatever. And they gave me a lot of gifts, which I don't know what happened to any of them. But that was interesting.
Wow. Miss Millie, we have a special presentation for you.
Oh.
And we hope that you accept it with the kindness that we're giving it to you with.
Oh, of course.
Thank you very much, Ms. Millie.
Oh, thank you. You're lovely. Thank you. Oh, beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you very much.
Awesome.
Thank you.
You welcome, dear. Keep living your best life.
This concludes Living the Vacation Life's presentation of Meet Your Neighbor.